Greetings, it's Ian from RTO and welcome to round 2 of Battle Royale to find RTO's greatest album of all time. And in round 2 we'll be more concentrating on the album artwork, and I'll give you a bit of history about it and etc etc. But once again, it's up to you to vote which you think of these albums is the best. So to tie one of round 2 is between Sgt Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles from Simon, and Boston's debut Boston from Ralph. So out of the hat first was this one. Sgt Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, probably one of the most iconic album covers in the history. It's also this was the very first album, if we flip it over, to actually have the lyrics of the songs on it. So there's the back cover. Yeah, first album to actually print the words on the album. So there's a little bit of thing for you. So let's flick it back to the original. So there's lots of people on here, so we will go through that. But how did this album cover come to life? Right, but it's to do with pop artists Peter Blake and Jan Howarth. They were designed it, and Blake recalled of the concept: I offered the idea that if they just played a concert in the park, the cover could be a photograph of the group just after the concert with the crowd who watched the concert watching them. He added, if we did this by using cardboard cutouts, it could be a magical crowd of whoever they wanted. Paul McCartney said he himself provided the ink drawing on which Blake and Howarth made the design. The art cover was directed by Robert Fraser and photographed by Michael Cooper. So at the front is a very colourful collage, as you can see. It's got the Beatles in there, Sgt Pepper's Heart Club's Band, and then a group of life-size cutouts of famous people were put off. Each Beatle member had a heavy moustache, after Harrison first grown into the disguise during his visit to India. What else have we got on here? In the centre, the cover depicts the Beatles standing behind a brass drum, which fairground artist Joe F. Grave painted in the words of the title of the album. So next to the Beatles, though, you can see there's some waxwork members of the band taken from the Beatlemania of the early 60s. What else have we got on here? We got some figurines of Eastern Delights, Buddha and Laskimi. So, but the thing is, it's these 57 photographs that are the ones that everyone remembers. So let's have a look who is on the cover. If we go to start right at the back, you've got Sri Yiskara Guru, which is a Hindu guru. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Occultist Aleister Crowley, actress Mae West, comedian Lenny Bruce is on there, composer Karl-Heinz Stockenhausen, the wonderful comedian actor W.C. Fields, Carl Jung the psychiatrist is on there as well, the famous writer Edgar Allan Poe, Fred Astaire's up there as well, Richard Meakin, who's an artist and a friend of Peter Blake. Get his mate on the picture, why not? You got the Vargas Girls, an artist Alberto Vargas, Leo Grocasi. His picture was on there, but they removed it and the space is still there. Hunts Hall, the actor, Simon Roder, designer and builder of the Watchtowers on there. Bob Dylan's on there. Aubrey Beardsley, an illustrator. Sir Robert Peel, British Prime Minister. Aldous Huxley, the writer. Dylan Thomas, the poet. Terry Southern, the writer. We've got Dion Mashussi, the singer-songwriter. Tony Curtis is on there. Wallace Brennan, who's an artist. Tommy Hanley, the comedian. Marilyn Monroe. William S. Burroughs. Mafata Bajadada, another Hindu guru. Stan Laurel. Richard Linda, the artist. Oliver Hardy. Karl Marx. H.G. Wells. Parsima Uganda, another Hindu guru. Lots of gurus. That must be the George Harrison. James Joyce, poet. Anonymous hairdresser. Stuart Sutcliffe, who was of course a former Beatle. Another hairdresser. Max Miller, comedian. A Pretty Girl by artist George Petty. Marlon Brando. Tom Mix, actor. Oscar Wilde. Tyrone Power. Larry Bell. David Livingstone, I presume. Johnny Weissmuller, Tarzan. Stephen Crane is barely visible. Issy Bond's on there. Gerd Bernard Shaw, the sculptor. H.C. Westerman. Arthur Stubbins, another guru, which I can't pronounce now. Lewis Carroll. T.E. Lawrence, known to us as Lawrence of Aurelia. Sonny Liston, which is a wax model of him. And then the wax models of the Beatles. Shirley Temple. Albert Einstein. So there's loads of people on there. Maureen Dietrich is on there as well. A wax model of Diana Dawes. So a pretty interesting cover, isn't it? It's got lots of people, very clever, and it became one of the most iconic album covers. And talking about album covers, my picture's fallen down, so I must put that back up. So we'll have a look at the next one in a moment. So after a little bit of fiddling, you can see the picture's gone back up. So we can continue. Now the second entry today is from Ralph. Of course he had a Boston that put out Boston put out the Stone Roses, of course. So let's have a look at this cover. Now there's a lot of difference, of course, but this is a very iconic cover from the 1970s. There's a lot of history behind this, and this actual design sort of featured in quite a lot of the next Boston albums. So before we talk about this, let's flip it over and have a look what's on the back. And we have got the band. And what I like about it, it goes along to say who's who. So we've got Barry, Tom, Sib and his hair, Bradley and Fran. It's not very often you get that, is it? You get names. But it is actually dominated by Sib's hair. No lyrics on this one, but you get all the usual technical gubbins. I always like reading this because you find out some little interesting things, like what guitars Tom Scholz plays. Tells you about who designed the cover, and special thanks on that. So let's flick it back to the front. All by magic, of course. So this has got 3 people involved. You've got illustrator Roger Hussian, artist Paula Scher, and lettering was done by Gerald Herter. So this the actual design is by Paula, who is an early example of her typographical work that exemplifies her interest in combining pop culture and experimental typography to evoke an emotional response. And that's what it said when I found the things about this. Okay, what they come up with this idea was to make an album cover stand out in a record store, and that's what this done. we have got guitar-shaped spaceships that carry in the clear dome, as you can see. I'll put a little arrow there so you can see there. This is the bit we're looking at now, and it's got a clear dome, and then the embossed sort of shape of Boston in there, which is really clever. So it did make an absolutely bold statement. This spaceship sort of carried on with other covers, and it sort of was a little story of each cover. So this one, of course, it's got two lines of guitar-shaped spaceships fleeing an exploding planet with blue flames coming out of each spaceship. See, the thing is, you get on the other ones, it's sort of, there's ones where it's hovering. It's just all incredible. I mean, I've done the album artwork, and it's like this. This actually also, this giant guitar was a part of the stage show as well. It is quite one of the most iconic logos as well. You know, it was a combination for the album cover, and that sort of really lit up Boston, and it's very, very good. When you go through lots of iconic covers and best covers, this always crops up. I think it is one of the best covers. So we've got two great covers here, two standout covers that would stand out from anything else. But going back to the music now, just briefly, we have got two incredible albums that took a precise. You got Tom Scholz, that was, I mean, they didn't make many albums because he was such a perfectionist, and you got the Beatles experimenting in stuff that no one else had tried on the Peppers album. So we've got these two iconic covers to go along with the two excellent albums of music. So there we go. That's just a little brief thing about the album covers. So it's crunch time again. You should know how to vote now. You've now listened to the music and you've looked at the album covers, so you've now got to make out which one of these two albums do you want to go into the quarterfinals. Ways to vote will be, of course, in the community, which comes out at 2 PM today, and I have put the time right this time, not like on the last round where Charles had to remind me where is it, so thank you for Charles for doing that. And then tonight in the live stream we will have a poll, and it closes at midnight next week, and then Dave will announce the first quarterfinalist next Thursday on the live stream. So have a good listen. The shorts are still up there if you really haven't made up your mind. Let's see, this will be very close because these are two very good albums. So good luck to Simon and Ralph. I'll be back later with a mixing it. We've got a pick and mix, and it's in the camera's view. We're going to look at a box set that the Rolling Stones brought out called 4 Flicks. So bye for now.